Welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show, hosted by Mason Kern. He keeps his nose to the ground to report on what's trending in professional and college sports, to inform, enlighten, and entertain. And now it's...
The Sports Watchdog!
The Sports Watchdog, Mason Kern.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here on KDUS AM 1060 Phoenix. As always, I'm your host Mason Kern, joining you every Sunday, and we've got another jam-packed episode of the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here for you guys today. It's going to be a lot of twists and turns. We're talking basketball, we're talking college, NBA. We're taking it back right here locally to Arizona State as they took on Colorado in China on Friday. Give you a little rundown as to the preparation for all that. Televised obviously on ESPN2, so takeaways from that. And a lot of, college basketball is back. Pac-12 basketball is back. The NBA is back. College football is still on. It's the best time of the year, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but basketball, obviously, basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. You know that song. I know you guys do. So we're going to get right into it here. Let's have a great show.
Whether you're local or visiting the Scottsdale, Phoenix area, do yourself a huge favor and schedule a visit to the Well and Being Spa at the Fairmount Scottsdale Princess. It offers an innovative fusion of energizing wellness experiences and soothing spa treatments, all within a space designed to be your sanctuary in the desert. Inspired by the majestic natural surroundings of the blooming Sonoran Desert, each customized treatment delivers sensory awakening. With relaxing treatments and inspired evidence-based wellness activities, Well and Being Spa believes happy and healthy were made to go together. Life can be a delightful alliance between the good and the good for us. Every resort experience is enhanced by Well and Being Spa's focus on enjoying life. Heal and strengthen, indulge and pamper, from fitness to beauty and meditation. Discover a holistic haven for your whole self at this extraordinary spa at the Fairmount Scottsdale Princess. The 3-day Live It Well room and spa package at the Princess provides the perfect desert escape. For spa menus and more, visit at fairmont.com/Scottsdale.
All right, guys, so today we're going to get started right into the interview portion of our show because I've got a really special guest on the line for you guys today. It's Bobby Hurley, Arizona State basketball coach, and ASU's had a lot of success under Hurley. They've made back-to-back NCAA tournaments for the first time in program history since the 1960s under legendary coach Ned Wolf when he led them to 3 straight appearances, and Bobby Hurley and company will be looking to do that again this year. And obviously the team headed out to China this past week to take on Colorado in a non-conference game despite playing a Pac-12 opponent. So they take on Colorado in China. It's counted as a non-conference game, and we have kind of the sound of the preemptiveness and everything leading up to that trip, the game plan, the thoughts about going to China and playing a Colorado team that was predicted to finish second in the conference just behind Washington this year. So here's Coach Bobby Hurley.
What's the status of your guys that were injured last time we talked?
We're moving in a good direction with that. I think we'll get Tayshaun Sherry back today and Khalid Thomas today, so that's real positive. It did give us an opportunity to experiment with some other lineups and give some other guys a chance. Elias has really taken advantage of that. He's played very well while those guys were gone, and got a chance for me to see Jaelyn Graham with Romello together. So to go with a bigger combination on the front court. So while those guys were out, it gave us a chance to work with some different lineups. So,
what were their ailments?
Just minor stuff, stuff that we're not concerned about at all, just that, would work itself out. And that's the one plus that we've avoided, anything major, knock on wood, to this point. So we're just guys, the normal stuff that happens in a training camp situation where just bumps and bruises.
What did you learn from playing someone else, even in an informal setting, about your team?
Just how they compete. It was impressive because we were, down multiple guys on the front court, so we were concerned about rebounding, but we compensated for that just with how fiercely those guys competed and guarded the ball and created turnovers and scored off turnovers, and it just looked a lot like 2 years ago at times on the floor. And And I think that's a real positive with the versatility that, we could play different lineup combinations, and gave me an opportunity to experiment with that. And, Remy was outstanding. He was just across the board, just almost a flawless game. So he's in tremendous form right now, going into the season. And there were other impressive things, with Alonso Verge, just has been, off the charts for me. And as a first game, you get some jitters early, and he wasn't as good as he was in that first half, but just had a monster second half. And a lot of guys can't bounce back from maybe a poor start, but he showed that he could in the scrimmage. So just it was really positive. Romello looked very good as well.
Coach, could you talk about the maturation, just kind of piggybacking on what you said about Remy, his maturation from when he first came on campus to now and how he's leading the team?
Yeah, I mean, he's embraced whatever role we've asked and whatever we needed him to do. He's come in as a winner, and he's kind of built that. He's just constantly making winning plays for us. And you saw how good he was the last month of the season last year, and he even looks better. He just knows what to do out there, making veteran plays. And he had great assist numbers on Saturday, low turnover, very efficient shooting, and then his defense, a couple of steals, and so we have a few guys that could do that. And that's the great thing about seeing Jalen House and watching him come off the bench and really start guarding the ball with great energy. And he had a real positive impact on what we've been doing as well.
Was Alonso, when you said he got off to a rough start, was he just not shooting the ball well, or was he just not involved as much? What was his issue there? Yeah,
I think with him, he's so good off the bounce. He's so creative that sometimes he goes a little too quick. I think he wasn't playing at a speed that was ideal. He was going a little too fast out there, and just not converting some things that he would normally convert, and it just really changed dramatically, completely in the second half, though, as he got into a rhythm. And I attribute that to just that first game, and just not needing to get some reps under your belt and feel comfortable out there.
Besides this game being in China, the fact that you're playing an opponent you're going to see just a few months later twice, does that change your approach at all toward this game? It's a great opportunity. It's a good educational opportunity for our guys culturally, and we're just going out there really in a positive mindset and trying to attack that one game and try and make the best of it. It's for all of us. It's a chance to do something that we may never have an opportunity to do. So it's a unique game, and then we'll take care of getting the guys back and readjusted, and we hopefully have given enough time from when we play in China and taken into account all the traveling back to get the team ready for games after that. But the fact that playing Colorado, a team you're going to face twice again this year, I mean, does that kind of add a unique challenge you never had?
Yeah, I mean, we don't go to the mountains, so it's we're going to have them. We'll have them once in league play and once in a non-conference. But you're right, it is a very unique thing. I like that it's a high level game, that it's that you get a chance to play a game versus a team that I think is going to be in the top 50 and a really strong chance to be an NCAA tournament team. So it's a good test right away to see where you stand, and so in that regard, it's a real positive.
Romello took a pretty big step last year. How do you expect him to continue to grow this year?
I just think his fitness is outstanding. He's really taking care of his body. He's just been working on his game. He's a veteran. He gets a lot done when you give him the ball, and he gets his touches, and he's been very efficient. He's not just trying to bully his way to the basket. He's got a number of things that he could go to that he trusts, which we noticed with both hands and around the basket. If teams double him, he's really been good at throwing the ball out of the post. That's why the guards really trust him and want to get him the ball inside, because if teams do try and double him, he's finding an open teammate. So it's and then I believe in him facing a little more, going a couple dribbles to the basket, or
he's even improved as a mid-range jump shooter, which I think he'll add to his game, which he didn't have any confidence with last year.
You talked a couple weeks ago about just how about rebounding that's going to be key to creating the number of possessions you guys want to get this year. Did you notice the guards kind of step up without those guys in the front court in the scrimmage, or how did that look?
Yeah, I mean, Remy had 8 defensive rebounds, and I referenced our games versus Kansas and Xavier and talked about like how many defensive rebounds Trey Holder and Shannon Evans and those guys had, in those key games against bigger teams. And if you are going to play some stretches of games when you're going really small, then everyone's got to get in there and contribute in that regard. And Remy really internalized that. He knew that was something that we were looking for, that we could hang in on the backboard versus a team that has some good size like they had, and we were even on the backboard with a team that was bigger than us because of guys that we had out of the lineup on Saturday. So it was good to see him and others take that responsibility.
With this guard rotation specifically, do you feel like there could be too much talent, like could too many guys needing play time?
I mean, that's always something that shakes itself out in our practices, and again, just what guys are doing on the floor and earning minutes. And it was pleasant surprise to see how good we were, and considering we didn't have Kamani Lawrence and Tayshaun Cherry and Khalid Thomas. So we have a pretty good feel that those guys are going to help us, but for us to play that well without them was a real positive.
Coach, I know you're focused on this season, but fans in Tempe are getting really excited about Marcus Bagley. What do you think that he's going to add to this program?
He can't answer that question. He didn't sign yet.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that.
What's the ball movement been like with the guards? What's the ball movement been like with the guards?
Yeah, I mean, we were high assist totals, and we've been charting it, daily in practice, and it's been really good, on the eye tests where they're making the extra pass, and when we penetrate and hit the lane, it's if there are guys defense rotating, that they've been good at hitting the paint and finding where their open teammate is. So it's probably as good as I've seen it since I've been here, just with the willingness to pass and move the basketball.
Bobby, is it important for you guys as a program to make sure the general public understands that these are students going over there for an educational experience, and it has nothing to do with the issues that the NBA ran into in this past month? Totally different situation.
Yeah, I mean,
it should not be.
Yeah,
there's no correlation or parallels.
Yeah, I mean, top to bottom. I mean, every guy I've asked, and I talk to the guys a lot about what we do, and are you excited about this trip? Like, absolutely. The guys are. We got a great itinerary of events that the guys are going to be exposed to there, and just a chance to play in front of a big crowd, because China is very passionate about the game of basketball, and so we don't get involved in what happened with the NBA, and it's just we're a different entity, and this is a different situation, and we're excited about it.
Remy Martin and McKinley Ryder, two all-league caliber guards. What do you think about just having the early spotlight matchup between them?
Yeah, they've been going at it for a couple of years, and then those guys are two of the better point guards in the country. So it's always an interesting subplot. I don't really get involved in thinking about it as much. It's more of a bigger picture. Trying to win a basketball game versus Colorado that's very well coached and a veteran team, and just have their whole team back. So they certainly have an advantage of having guys that have played together for a number of years, and to a certain degree we do as well. We've just we're integrating some other guys into what we're doing as well.
What about that as a signpost of where you're at with your on-ball defense and your help defense and all that stuff against a guy who can create so much?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a challenge, like when you face any good guard that could run a team and control tempo, and it's so yeah, it'll be certainly a test. I love over the long haul though, just our athleticism, our speed, our quickness in the backcourt and on the perimeter, and how that could really cause problems for teams. And as we go on, I'm not saying it's going to happen in China, but we certainly believe that could be one of our strengths, to try and force tempo and create pace, because we got guys that could pick up 90 feet and guard.
You mentioned Khalid and Tayshaun. Is Kamani good?
Kamani's going to be good. Yeah, he's just some minor, tendonitis with his shoulder, and we don't foresee it being a long-term issue, and we're just being very, very cautious because he didn't really miss any reps throughout the whole preseason and practice, and so it happened right before the scrimmage, and we just held him out, and we've held him out a couple of days this week, but he'll be back on the court, and we don't anticipate it being a problem.
So he'll be ready for the opener, you think?
Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
Do you have a feel for, your rotation yet, or is it still too early for that?
Yeah, that's been the juggling act with having guys out, and so it's inevitable that it happens. It's happening everywhere in college basketball, where you hope that you just get everyone, in a practice so you could, experiment and look at different things and got different guys playing together. So we've been hampered by that some, just with, again, minor stuff where we just couldn't bring it all together. So I think we're going to have now a week leading into this game where we will have the majority of our team together, and then I'll get a firmer handle on what we're going to do. But it was easy for me on Saturday to figure out a rotation due to some unexpected things, injuries and such. So, but I would like to have those difficult problems of having a lot of talent and figuring out how to put it all together and get it on the floor.
And Jaelyn Graham, I know you were impressed with him early, and then he got hurt. Where is he at right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's got great recovery. Kid's young. It's great to be young, and he attacked his treatment, and we had projected him being out a little bit longer, but he was just way ahead of schedule, and he's just moving great. He's bouncy. The ankle doesn't appear to be any type of issue. He was moving fantastic on Saturday, and just could really do some of the things that Daquan did for us. As a guy that's really got good energy and above the rim and a shot blocker, and so we're excited about Jaelyn.
All right, guys, great insight there from Arizona State coach Bobby Hurley. We'll be right back after this break. You're not going to want to miss the next session of our show.
If you're looking for a fabulous Southwest Desert staycation or daycation destination, check out the Four Seasons Resort Scottsdale at True North. Situated in the scenic foothills of North Scottsdale, this luxurious retreat is perfect for a sun-filled winter getaway. Guests enjoy spacious, newly renovated guest rooms and suites all feature breathtaking towering cacti and dramatic rock boulder views. Amenities include a well-appointed spa and fitness center with guided meditation walks and yoga hikes, all perfect ways to rejuvenate. The resort's inviting pool with negative edge waterfalls is also custom designed for relaxation with private cabanas and refreshing poolside cocktails. In the evening, indulge in acclaimed dining with James Beard Award-nominated chef Samantha Sands as she creates bright and flavorful contemporary Spanish cuisine. Nearby, enjoy priority privileges on the renowned courses of True North Golf Club or set out for a desert hike right from the resort's grounds. For more information, visit fourseasons.com/Scottsdale.
You ready to hoop it up?
This is Happenings on the Hardwood.
All right, guys, it's that favorite time of the show. At least it's mine. You guys know it's Happenings on the Hardwood. We're pivoting over to the basketball side of things now, talking a little Pac-12, talking a little college overall, and talking a little NBA. So getting right into it here, Pac-12 basketball. A lot of infusion of talent to the Pac-12 conference overall in the 2019 class. Oregon tops the Pac-12 recruiting rankings in 2019. More of a factor of a reality where Oregon lost a lot of talent. Okay, they lost a lot of players to the draft, a lot of early departures, so they had to kind of fill their coffers, and they did so with 7 commits. Okay, that's a lot. That's a full team, 6 enrollees, 4 transfers, 1 player who signed his letter of intent according to 24/7 Sports. So when you look at the class overall, N'Faly Dante, center, 5-star, 14th ranked prospect overall in the country. One of 2 5-stars to sign with Oregon in the 2019 class, alongside C.J. Walker out of Orlando, Florida, 5-star power forward, top 30 player overall. And Oregon got a big benefit from a player who reclassified originally at 2020, now at 2019, and now enrolled at Oregon already in Addison Patterson out of Scottsdale, local player out of Bella Vista Prep. Shooting guard, 6'6", 180, and top 50 player, top 45 player in the country at number 42 overall in the 2019 class. That's the top end. There was another mid 4-star player, top 100 player in the country in Chandler Lawson, who's another power forward kind of complementing C.J. Walker. And then the most probably impactful transfer comes out of UNLV in Shakur Joyston. I don't really necessarily know how to pronounce it, so sorry, Shakur, but I think that he has the chance to be one of the more impactful newcomers in the Pac-12 conference as a whole overall. Obviously, coming from UNLV, it'll be immediate eligibility, and he's poised to make a big impact. Now, in terms of just straight talent, an infusion of talent. I mean, obviously 2 5-stars, 3 4-stars. That's a lot of talent that Oregon brought in. But top tier level of talent, I really look at Washington, and they had the highest average besides Arizona in terms of their commits. They had 4 commits overall, and probably some of the best talent overall. 11th ranked class in the country with 4 enrollees and 2 transfers. Isaiah Stewart, number 3 prospect in 2019, had offers from Duke, Kentucky, all the big boys. Chooses Washington, a center, 6'9", literally the number 3 prospect in the country. And he complimented Jaden McDaniels, another top 10 prospect, the number 8 player in the country, power forward, out of Federal Way, Washington. And, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. Small forward, power forward, kind of combo forward type player who can stroke it from deep, freak athlete, and a good handle as well. So, I mean, those two are guys who they're going to be tough this year. It's going to be tough to contend with them, and they were picked number 1 in the Pac-12 by the preseason media for a reason. Quade Green, also a former 5-star, transferred from Kentucky. And they also got a transfer from USC, a 4-star in Jerron Brooks. So a lot of talent infusing into that Washington roster after losing the former Pac-12 Player of the Year last season. Arizona also, looking good in their first game. Nico Mannion, the number 9 overall prospect. Josh Green, number 13 overall. 2 5-stars right there for you. Zeke Nnaji, he's top 40 player in the country in 2019. He had a major game. Christian Koloko rounded out their class, another center. And then some great transfers as well. Jamari Baker out of Kentucky, Jordan Brown out of Nevada, and Max Hazard out of UC Irvine. So we'll see what impact those guys can make. But Pac-12 as a whole so far, undefeated. Oregon State, as of the beginning of the slate back on November 5th, after the first round of games, Pac-12 remained undefeated. Oregon State with an opening 20-point victory in their game against CSUN. USC absolutely thrashed Florida A&M 77-48. U of A, like I said, number 21 in the country right now, blasted Northern Arizona 91-51, 91-52, a great overall performance by Josh Green, Nico Mannion. Those guys were plus 30 in their player efficiency ratings, so obviously that's really good. Stanford gets the win over Montana by 11. You would have liked to see them win maybe by a little more comfortable margin, but they'll probably be toward the bottom of the Pac-12 after losing KZ Okpala and some of their major playmakers last season. UCLA escapes Long Beach State with a 4-point victory. We'll see what to make of UCLA with no Jalen Hands, who got drafted by Brooklyn Nets, and some of their other talent that departed early for the NBA draft and otherwise. And then Washington State, good signs for them, blasting Seattle. Obviously, the level of competition isn't Pac-12 caliber, but they get a 30-point victory, 85-54. And the China game with ASU in Colorado, that was something to watch. College basketball as a whole, just being back, was really awesome to see. Cole Anthony set a University of North Carolina record for most points by a freshman in his debut. 34, just a slight little 34 ball for Cole Anthony. He had as many points as the entire Syracuse team had in their first game. So, that just tells you what a special talent Cole Anthony is going to be for this North Carolina Tar Heels team, following in the footsteps of the great Michael Jordan, obviously. But We're not going to make that comparison yet, obviously, but a very impressive performance nonetheless from Cole Anthony in North Carolina's victory. And there's been some good games. I mean, Kentucky, Michigan State, 1 and 2 in the preseason polls, and guess what? Kentucky number 2 gets the best of Michigan State number 1. So maybe those rankings aren't as accurate to begin the season. I don't really know for sure, but what I do know is that all of these teams in this year's tournament is going to be hard to predict, and it's going to be interesting to see what Pac-12 teams make it, considering there's been such a stigma on the Pac-12 in terms of the talent level overall in the conference and how it's in football and basketball, really, how they're the subpar Power 5 conference. We'll see with this huge influx of talent what happens. And for Arizona State, they have a player who probably was a little under-recruited and has the potential of being one of the most impactful newcomers in the whole Pac-12 this year. And I'm talking about Alonso Verge Jr. He led junior college in scoring last year, over 30 points per game. And this is a dynamic scorer. He's a 3-level scorer, good athlete, probably a little undersized, but he's a good guard with great vision. He gets his guys open. He makes players around him better. He comes from Chicago. He's got an edge. He's got some grit. This is a kid who wants to go at you every single time he touches the ball. And even when he's playing off the ball, he wants to make you as uncomfortable as possible. He's yelling at his teammates. He's getting everyone involved. He's already a leader on this roster. And this is his first collegiate season in Division I in a Power 5 level after obviously coming out of junior college. He is a guy who makes you better. He is a guy who can score at will. And he had 18 second-half points in the not-so-secret, air quote, scrimmage against UCSB, all in the second half. I mean, this is a dynamic scorer. Like I said, he can score whenever he wants. He can get a bucket. He's a walking bucket. People have called him a walking bucket. And it'll be interesting to see Bobby Hurley's starting lineup and how they complement Verge with Rob Edwards, the senior, Remy Martin, Pac-12 all first-team caliber junior, and some of these other guys, sophomore Elias Valtonen, we'll see what role he plays this year in kind of a more expanded minutes. We'll see if Tayshaun Cherry can unlock the potential that he has within him. Kamani Lawrence, will he break out in his junior campaign? But this ASU team, if not a play-in, at least for the NCAA tournament this year, next year's roster looks scary because they have one senior and a ton of juniors. There will be a lot of experience on that ASU team, and they're infusing talent. They're in on Josh Christopher. They already have Marcus Bagley committed. They're in on Cliff Omari out of New Jersey. These are guys who are making programs better. These are guys who are program changers, and we'll see if ASU can capitalize and get involved in some of these big infusion of talent like programs. These other schools I'm talking about, how they're getting 5 stars, high 4 stars. ASU under Bobby Hurley has recruited better than ever in program history. That's a fact. Now it's a matter of developing and keeping them longer than one and dones, like Lou Dort leaves. Obviously, after his freshman campaign last year, doesn't get drafted. Probably had some opportunities, but didn't want to get drafted and stashed. At the end of the day, it's going to take more than a play-in win and then a round of 64 blowout loss to further advance the program. You want consistency, you want continuity, and you want to continue to hopefully make the NCAA tournament with no play-in game. They've made play-in games back-to-back years now, and they'll see under Bobby Hurley if they can break that mold and kind of get into just the round of 64 automatically with an automatic bid. But we'll transition over to the NBA now, and it's been rather interesting because if you look at the results this season, the Phoenix Suns are probably my biggest surprise this year. And yes, on Thursday they lost to the Heat. It was around a 20-point loss, but as of late, they've picked up some wins against teams that you really wouldn't expect. And we'll see with the Lakers coming to town on Tuesday if they can carry some of the momentum, from their big wins in the Pacific Division, which is the division they're in, obviously the division they want to win games to put themselves atop the seeding, if they can potentially make a playoff run. And it's so early in the season. I get it. It's early. But with no DeAndre Ayton for reported 25 games because of that whole diuretic issue, you have Aaron Baines and Frank Kaminsky coming in and stepping up in a huge way. Aaron Baines is averaging 18 points. I mean, he was not doing that in Boston. He's just not doing that in Boston, I'll tell you that. And I know, okay, the Twitter account, Sun Official, Baines Fan Club, okay, I follow it too. It's so funny. But because Aaron Baines is playing so well this year, you're seeing the impact spread across the whole roster. Javon Carter playing good minutes. Devin Booker should have been an all-star before, but he definitely is playing like one right now for this Phoenix Suns team. Ricky Rubio, the veteran presence, people said it was a bad signing. It wasn't a bad signing. He's making players better. His dishing, okay, in Utah, maybe it wasn't a perfect system fit. It seems like the system is fitting him in Phoenix. And Ricky Rubio is making Devin Booker better. Ricky Rubio is making everybody better. And he's playing well himself. Okay, that's the main thing. This guy, a little older, obviously a vet, taking guys under his wing and just making them better on and off the court. It's been awesome to see the Phoenix Suns kind of not start the season in a major slump like they have the past few years. I mean, it's their best start, I think, since like 2013. That's pretty much the roundup for college basketball, Pac-12 basketball, NBA basketball this week. You know where to find me on Twitter and Instagram, on all the social channels. You know where to find me. But I appreciate you guys for listening, and stay tuned next week for another great episode. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Anybody wanting to connect with me, the Sports Watchdog, on Twitter can do so at @SportsWatchdog, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well at The Sports Watchdog. So until next time, keep your eye on the ball.